Right. All right. So here we are again, back for another moment of truth. All right. This is number 3. And this topic is how to turn your insecurities into your superpowers. All right. How to turn your insecurities into superpowers. All right. So keeping it 100, like I do with these, and one of my main insecurities for a long time has been education. And the reason why it's been an insecurity of mine was because I've been around people who happen to be, higher, they had higher education, they went through college, they got master's degrees and all that stuff. And then I'm sitting around these circles, and I'm having these conversations with these people, and I just start thinking about what I don't have. And the simple fact is I didn't finish college. I jumped right into fitness, basically out of high school. I went to community college for a couple of semesters and found out it really wasn't for me like that at the time. But by doing that, I dove all the way into my craft. I dug all the way in there and was going at it for now 20 years. And I would be at these forums, and I'd be at these conferences and stuff like that. And I hear people using words that kind of slip, that kind of like went a little bit over my head, and it would get to me. So how did I beat that? Well, started reading. So I happened to step it up, and I'm like, I don't know what I don't know. So it's time for me to know what I don't know. And when I did that, I really started to feel more engaged with the jargon and stuff like that. And just, I started to feel a little bit more intelligent. And then I heard a quote that really gave me something. And it said that knowledge isn't the regurgitation of information, it's knowing where to find it. And so since I know where to find the information, it started to weigh down on me less and less, being that I don't have a college degree or anything like that. And now I do things in a way that I do stuff that's supposed to take about 3 months in 2 weeks because I can focus. So I took that insecurity about not being educated and use that to educate myself. Therein lies my superpower, the ability to focus and zero in on things. And so with that insecurity, it's starting to really go away now. It's not really there as much, but now I start to feel like I know something. I can contribute to a conversation. I can actually help somebody with something. I know things. And being that I know things, I'm not as insecure. Now, I listen a lot more than I talk. I talk here because I have something to say and I want to share it. But more often than not, if you catch me outside or you see me in a social circuit or whatever, or circle rather, I'm not saying much. I'm doing a lot of listening. And when I do that, that increases my ability to pick up on things that a lot of people who are running their mouth are not. There's a lot of things that I see, and I'll journal about it. I'll talk about it, in private, but that's just what I do. So for you, that's my story with like insecurity. That's just one. I have plenty of them, right? I can go a whole other thing with that. But also, like for you, what insecurities you have? What are some of the things that you think that you're not good at, that you're not great at, that kind of gets you down a little bit? What are some of those things? I want you to think about those things and ask yourself the question: is it really something that I can actually view as an insecurity, or is there a way I can take this thing and turn around and make it a positive force for me? Now, the way you go about turning that insecurity into a superpower it's hard. You just have to dive in. You got to go into it. You cannot just tiptoe around it. You can't beat around the bush on it. You got to dive in. You got to put your whole self into it. If you are insecure about the way you look, as far as your physical appearance and stuff like that. All right. Take an honest assessment of yourself, do some research, and see what you can do about it. There's genetic predisposition. There's such a thing, but then there's also the drive, and there's a hunger, and then there's the desire to make changes. If you're in the same area as me, if you don't feel like you're well-read or well-spoken or highly educated, what do? You go in and you start to do those things that you have trouble with. You dig into it. You don't just sit there and take it. Because if you sit there and you take it, you're gonna let it fester and build up, and it's gonna keep eating you from the inside out, and you'll be spinning your wheels all of a sudden. You don't want to do that. So for me, like I said, I started reading. I read a lot more. Then I started setting some audacious reading goals. I started with 40 books. Then I started with 50. I went to 50. Now I'm at 60. I ain't there yet, but I got some ways to go. And in doing that, I'm getting all this information. And if you're in the same category, you're getting more information too. If you go ahead, you start reading things, you start putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations, and then you start finding out what real superpowers you have, because you have them. It's just not like, it doesn't just come out naturally. You got to build on it. Jordan, he missed out mad shots in the NBA, greatest basketball player of all time, arguably. Anybody could say LeBron, right? Again, in order for you to change your insecurity into a superpower, you're gonna have to dig. It's gonna be uncomfortable. You have to accept that. But at the end of it, you will definitely get a return on your investment. If you invest your energy, your time, and your effort, right, your focus, you can change that so-called negative into a positive force that you can pass on to other people around you, right? So if you happen to have any insecurities that you want to share with me, write in the comments, DM me, we can talk about it. My only purpose around here is to help uplift people. And the Moment of Truth series is for me to share my stories. Hopefully they can give you something great as well. So that's my time. Take those insecurities, shut them down, turn them around, and make them powerful. Use those things. Make them work for you. Yes, you can. You got to do that. All right. Your best self is waiting, and so is the rest of the world. All right. So enjoy your Thursday. Peace out, y'all.